The following is a reading of the short story creepypasta, The Russian Sleep Experiment, read by Joshua Campbell. Diving deeper into the idea of popular online short stories told through creepypasta, we enter a very graphic and gory story that takes place during World War II. Of course, it is still a fictional story, but I tread carefully with this one. It's a pretty grim story, despite its length, and there's a lot of explicit detail of some pretty gnarly stuff. The story itself revolves around a fictional historical event that happened in Soviet Russia during World War II, where a group of political prisoners were experimented on by the Soviet government to test a new drug that would, theoretically, keep a human awake indefinitely. The story is written by someone named Orange Soda on the Creepypasta Wiki. Of course, this isn't their actual name, and to this day, their real name is still not known. They don't really have an internet presence after posting this story online, so we may never know who wrote this very influential story. This is where creepypasta definitely first got its footing in the realm of horrific urban legend type territory, and in the next few weeks' entries, you're going to start to see some short stories that actually gained widespread phenomenon to the point of even being adapted to television, thanks to their success. But I'm getting ahead of myself. With all that said, here is, Orange Soda's story, The Russian Sleep Experiment. The Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake so the gas did not kill them, since it was toxic in high concentrations. This was before closed-circuit cameras, so they had only microphones and 5-inch thick glass porthole-sized windows into the chamber to monitor them. The chamber was stocked with books and cots to sleep on, but no bedding, as well as running water, toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 for over a month. The test subjects were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state during World War II. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained, having been promised, falsely, that they would be freed if they submitted to the test and did not sleep for 30 days. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their past. The general tone of their conversation took on a darker aspect after the 4-day mark. After 9 days, the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber repeatedly, yelling at the top of his lungs for 3 hours straight, at which point he continued attempting to scream, but was only able to produce occasional squeaks. The researchers postulated that he had physically torn his vocal cords. The most surprising thing about this behavior was how the other captives reacted to it, or rather, didn't react to it. They continued whispering into the microphones until the second of the captives started to scream. The 2 non-screaming captives took the books apart, smeared page after page with their own feces, and pasted them calmly over the glass portals. The screaming promptly stopped. So did the whispering into the microphones.